7th, 1992.
This morning, today, I want to introduce a kavod hakaron to Alta Bashlochanan Ettie Blazer Oleh Hashalom. We join with her family, their children, Walter and Francine Blazer, with her grandchildren, Arthur, Lisa and Kenny Rudolph, and her great-grandchildren, Danielle and Ilana, Joel and Claire Blazer, and her grandchildren, Nina, Avi, and Gila, with Irene and Joseph Pellet, and her grandchildren, Gary and Darren. We also acknowledge her sister, Zara Trivitz, and special mention is made of two individuals who were very much devoted to her in her later years, to the attendants who loved her as a grandmother, and Beverly and Warner were here as well. First going to ask Irene to come up with Darren, say a few words.
That knew my mother years back as well. I think these words are official. As I said in March, my mother died. I thought back to happier times. I thought back to the days of my youth. Friends that gathered in our house every Friday evening to sip tea and eat all the great cakes my mother baked for Shabbos. I remember the laughing and joking. I remember the hunt to find the pickle chips my mother hid from us. They were worse than potato chips. We ate one and had to have enough. I remember the parties we had, and later always could be counted on to bake specialties. Her brother would cook cupcakes and cheesecakes. I used cake stuffed with cinnamon and raisins and nuts and chocolate and Swiss cookies and shapes of animals and flowers and stars and chocolate chips and scented. And her peanut butter cookies and her banana cake and wrapped hotly considered in cake. Warm and cozy on a cold Friday night. Many of our friends had larger homes, but they all preferred our house because of my mother's warm hospitality and baking. At times, you'd hear my mother yell from the other end of the apartment and how she knew we'll never get out of the cooking tin. And having my friends over after Shabbos, and by then we had eaten a quarter of the puncheon. And I especially remember the delicious fragrance of the holly baking before Shabbos. The little ones and long braided ones, and always an extra one to give someone in need. And what was kind of a meal without the cake and cakes, latkes we called them, homemade and grated by hand. Homemade applesauce and crumbs, and the best hog or oxen pops and birthday cakes. The very special cakes that are made for special occasions. And purim, all the fermentation of poppy seeds for my kids and husband and cream for me. Mom would yell at me when I helped. That's a hack. Look at mine. I can't give those down. Don't worry, no. I'll take those home. So I purposely made a lot of funny looking honey machines. And Pesach, peeling the wax paper off the back of the nuts, honey and nuts and sugar and candy that made savory and sweet taste. I remember the grits my mom made for each of my sons. Plates of cake affairs with special gefilte fish and kugels and coleslaw and cakes, so on. And I spent every minute I could with Mom making her fresh table food. No good, she said, and I cried and cried. Make it anyway, Ma, it's good. I made it for you. You have to get strong. You taught me how. I spoke to her about the past, hoping she'd respond. I reviewed her recipes, hoping she'd correct me. But there was never a response. I love you, Ma, I cried 1,000 times as I held her in my arms and hugged her and kissed her. I'm here, I love you. Give me a kiss. Go home, she would say. Not until you give me a kid like that, because she takes me and sends me off. I don't want to remember the mother of today, but the mother of yesterday. The mother that gave her love and special attention to her family, friends, and loved ones, especially her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren. The special dishes she made my son, the spaghetti casserole, the potato soup, the tuna croquettes, the hungry dumps of potatoes, the care packages she would send home, and the cakes and the civil paper she gave to make me send to my son at college. He shouldn't starve, she said. For me, those are the days I want to be there.
Wrote a short tribute for her mother and her grandmother with input from her sister Gila, and it will be read by her brother Ettie.
The last question is yesterday's Haftorah says, כי לא מקיף הזון תצאו, ובגנושה לא תלכו, כי הולך לפניכם השם, ומעשתכם אלוקי ישראל. Literally translated, this means, for you will not leave in haste, nor in a flurry of flight, for God will go before you, and the God of Israel will protect you from behind. We glanced at the Rashi from Pasuk, and the Rashi says that Hashem will go before you in order to prepare the way. This caught our eye last night when we were looking for something in yesterday's Parsha, something to say about the grandmother. We could say that on one hand, Ettie did leave hastily. She passed away less than 4 weeks from the time she went into the hospital. But if we look at things in a broader sense, we realize that, lucky for us, Hashem took his time preparing the way for Lot's departure. Thank God, she lived a relatively long and healthy life, and we were fortunate to have her around for a long time. She did not leave in haste, nor in a flurry of flight, and although she will be sorely missed, we can all try to take comfort in the fact that Hashem will go before her and protect her from behind.
Memory is a very important responsibility for the Jewish people. Especially this time of the year, we speak about 1/3 of the service that we govern. Muslim for Rosh Hashanah, we call it Chronos, which means memories. In that context, memory, history, God the Creator, God's personal providence, how God affects and runs the affairs of human beings. But memory is also something that every Jew has to know about the history of our people, about our past. The Lord tells us, L'chari lo solam, Idu shno star v'dar, sha'ala bicha v'yagetka, v'yinecha v'yom v'lach. And some people interpret L'chari lo solam, remember, recall the days of the world. Idu shno star v'dar, understand shno's the lessons from the shinam v'lecha. Understand the lessons of each and every generation. And as much as it's a charge for the Jewish people as a nation, we all know that Beit Israel is made up of many Batei Yaakov, of many Yishnosel Israel, of many individual homes, which all combine together to form the greater community of Israel. So today, I would like to try to recall and understand and learn a little bit about a very dynamic woman, a woman who's clearly larger than life, Alpha Bashokanan, Ettie Blazer, a woman who exemplified emes, honesty, in its full sense. We know that emes, we're told, the letters of the word emes all have solid foundation as opposed to the letters of the word sheker. Something stands on one leg, because sheker falsehood is something that can't survive. So I'd like, as much as possible, to give a true picture of Ettie Blazer. I have to say, although a funeral is a time of sadness, wistfulness, and tears, I think the tribute to Ettie Blazer has to be also the twinkle and with a smile as well, because that's the kind of woman she was. She was born 92 years ago in Debrecen, Poland, and came to the United States as a young woman. Her entire life was family, from the very beginning, more than anything else, her struggle. And charity. Her mother died at a young age, and she adored her father, to whom she was very, very devoted. And she was very devoted to her siblings as well. She had a sister, 13 children, and she, at times, was more at the sister's home, helping with the children than she was at her own home, helping with her, taking care of hers. Her sister Dora had been alone since Dora's husband passed away, was the beneficiary of Ettie's love and Ettie's concern and absolute commitment to being a helpmate, a partner to her later in life. Her husband, Louis, as she called him, was her husband of 57 years. And with him, she had her 3 children, 2 sons and her daughter, and of course, all of the benefits that come from raising her children so well. How did she meet her husband? Her mother-in-law came one day to the store in which her mother-in-law Ettie, which was her father's store, and both Ettie was working. And her mother-in-law saw this outstanding woman with charisma, with personality, and she said to her, "You're going my steer. You're going to be my daughter." And she repeated it time and again. Finally, Ettie, in her practical way, said to her, "I'm going to be your daughter-in-law. Why doesn't your son come sometime and talk to me and ask me?" But eventually, her mother-in-law prevailed, and she found a partner for life. And they were devoted to each other. They were loyal. They were dedicated. They did everything together. And yet Ettie found time somehow, after fulfilling both of her immediate familial responsibilities, to be available to others. When they were both sick at the same time, and they both needed a similar type of operation, Ettie, in her classical, unselfish way, said, "I'll wait until he's through with the operation, see what his situation is, and then I'll be able to go forward and take care of myself." And she had a very good sense of humor. The doctors will forgive me, but she and her husband were in the same room, and of course, they were really being treated for the same condition. And the doctor would come into the room, and eventually, I guess Blue Cross Blue Shield would be charged. And the doctor said, one day she said to the doctor, "Such mir nicht gut morgen, and shit mir nicht kein bill." Speak to one of us. That's the way she was. That was her. She had a way, don't tell me good morning and don't send me any bills. She was a very, very strong woman. She was a woman who was convinced of the rightness of her ways, and indeed her ways were correct. And she was a woman who said what was on her mind, and she was determined to see the right thing done. And honesty was her first name. She was an outstanding mother. You heard Irene talk, and you heard a little bit of just the gourmet aspects of her home and of the spirit with which everything was filled. She was caring, she was loving, and her children confessed she was tough. Walter told me one day it was a big snowstorm, so he had to go to school, so extensively. He had to go to yeshiva. So he came home a little while later from yeshiva and said, "Mom, the school is closed." She didn't believe it. She called the school, she checked, she called here and there until she finally let us stay home. You do. It's really a snowstorm. Her children's friends felt that her home was their home. Her sense of humor was notorious. She wasn't known for her great knowledge of the English language. And she always tried to make light of everything that happened to her. So once she went to the hospital for a procedure, and they said, how do you feel, Mom? She said, no big deal. I went for an autopsy and I came home. She was in her life. She was the ringleader of the family, always a devil. always from the time that she was a child until she was the very end of her years, always conniving and always trying to think of a scheme to do the right thing. The family told me there's a known story in the family that once when she was a young woman, she stole the Afikomen at the Pesach Seder. But she stole the Afikomen and she found a hiding place that no one could find.
The brother-in-law they're talking about here showed her the Savi Zega Yitzchak Aaron. I was at you.
The mom was the very bottom of the egg crate, so we filled the crate with all the trays and all the eggs. And her uncle or brother-in-law was looking for the Afikomen and she wanted something from him. And he wouldn't give it. She wouldn't give it either. And he chased her around the room, around the block. She wouldn't give it. She got away. And then they had the Afikomen. That's the way she was. She was a wonderful grandmother. She was fun. Her
That must have been Zega Yitzchak Aaron.
Past the age of 90. They would offer her, maybe grandma, you want diet soda? She'd say, I'm not dietetic. She taught her kids to play with each other. She taught her kids to play all sorts of games. She worried about them constantly, like a grandmother should. Worried about everything they did, about every stage in life, in school. She never forgot their birthday. She never forgot the milestones. She was an outstanding mother and grandmother. As a person, she was as unselfish as she was at home. And that's the point of chesed. Chesed was notorious, right? Notorious, but was well known. Maybe notorious, right? She worked in a factory. People tell me that they didn't mean labor unions because Ettie was in charge of the foreman. She wasn't a foreman without compassion. The work got done. The skirts, the tops matched the bottom, as long as the employer is about chesed, as long as he made sure that other people who needed work got jobs, and as long as he treated his employees fairly, everything worked out well in the factory. It never was the intent to harm anybody, always the intent to help others. She was helpful to her friends and neighbors. She cooked dinner for her friends. She took care of friends' children. When her friends were not able to be home, she had friends who had a disabled parent, and so she became the mother not only of her children, but of her friends' children. The family received, Irene received a thanks today about her mother. Alan, Bella, and I send you our condolences with the loss of your mother. You shall always remember her for the continuous activities on behalf of those fortunate in her, kindness to us, and the great cooking to make our holidays that much more special. May her soul be bound up in the bonds of eternal life. Came from a family. And so she was remembered. She was the local employment agency. Anyone who came off the boat came to Ettie Blazer. Somehow she found a job for them. There was a relative who came from Eretz Israel who had needed medical treatment. And later she came to the home of Ettie Blazer. And she stayed there for the duration of her treatment. At age 75, she was on TV. She went to do some volunteer work in an old age home. 75 years old. She says she went there to help feed the elderly. Lorna, who was her attendant, said that Aunt Ettie was the grandmother I never had, and you confided in her, I could say anything to her. That's the kind of woman she was. As a Jewish woman, she was a woman of faith. She was a woman of devotion. She kept every mitzvah. She was medactic. She was careful. She was machmir beyond all required norms. She was so serious about everything that she did. She believed in God. She believed in the destiny of Am Yisrael. She believed in the education of Jewish children. And she believed in keeping mitzvahs the way only someone of her character and of her background could. Organizations, she always found time for organizations. The Children's Infant Home in Borough Park. Mizrahi women, which today is divided into Muna and Amit. Yeshiva Beit Chaim, Shulamit, YU, these were her causes. And she was on the board of every women's league that one could think of, supporting chesed and supporting Torah. The luncheons of old were not catered luncheons. They weren't, but rather they were catered by Ettie Blazer. She did the cooking at home. She prepared for tens, if not more than 100 people at a time, so that the luncheons could go well. Israel was her pride and joy. She was there 4 times, and her last trip, interestingly enough, came at the age of 87. how did she get to Israel? It was the neighbor who was so grateful for all the chesed she had done to the neighbor, that when the neighbor's grandchild got married in Israel, the neighbor sent Ettie Blazer a ticket to come to the wedding. That's what, and when she went to Israel, she was in her 80s, in her 70s, when she camped out. She was a chalutz. Israel, it's a young country, and you have to do things in a young way. Some people never age. And Ettie Blazer is very much a woman who had character, who had strength, who had wisdom, and had forever youthfulness. Unfortunately, even somebody who's young forever, that's the way of the world. Call how you love the blessed. None of us are here forever. And Ettie Blazer had to return her soul to her Maker. But in doing so, she left a legacy of life, of Yiddishkeit, of love for people, love for family, love for learning, and love for continuity, survival of our nation. And so, certainly with sadness, certainly with the feeling that here was a woman who lived life as a person and as a Jew to its fullest, we bid farewell to Ettie Blazer, and we pray Shehei Nishmosa Tzrura Tzrura Hayim, that her soul be bound up in the bonds of eternal life. And Dila Hamadas Vanessa Mocha Hashem Elokim Dima Me'al Kol Amen. The Shiva will be observed at the home of Joel Blazer at the 863 Glen Drive will be until Friday afternoon, all days of the week except tomorrow, which is a legal holiday, and the minyan will be at 8:30 in the morning. And Mincha and Maariv will be davened at 7:05 p.m. The burial will take place at the New Montefiore Cemetery in the Line 1 Farmingdale area, that's exit 35 off the Southern State Highway. Now I ask everyone to please rise for the Kelmah Around.
Okay, kids, we're just on our way home now from the Kavura, and Daddy and I were just discussing, this is really like the end of an era. For a very special lady. For the family, etc. And on our tape that we talked to you, I'll give you more details about the funeral, etc. Love you all, bye.